Jim, it is all about the three M's: motivation, mindset, and mental drive. And when we think about the last 18 months, everybody working through the pandemic and all of the issues and challenges, and I feel like a lot of people, just hearing from my clients, from my colleagues, a lot of people were staying afloat. They weren't really motivated to either initiate something new or to really set some goals. So maybe really think about, what is motivation about, or what have you really thought about? What do you need to be motivated in order to initiate something new, or to start something, or to finish something? I don't know, Jim, what are your thoughts before we dive into some science?
Well, the first thing I know during the pandemic that came to my mind was that if life gives you lemonade, or I'm sorry, life gives you lemons, make lemonade. And that's what I did. I actually kind of reinvented myself. I started doing more content, started doing broadcasting, and among other things. And I stayed very focused on my work. Where I was not able to travel, well, guess what? Instead of doing physical sessions with contacts, I was able to do virtual sessions, and it's worked out very well for me, my organization, and also for the session goers on the other end as well. They were able to stay active and learn and be informed and everything. So you can really motivate yourself in many different ways.
Agree with you. And you said a word in there: focus. Focus is one key when it comes to mental drive. And there's three key ingredients for mental drive. Focus is one of them. To be able to have that focus to finish the goal. That is one. And when you're talking about the pandemic giving you the opportunity to reinvent, for me, the pandemic actually was like a hit over the head. As we've talked about before, I am a two-time cancer survivor. And during both of the journeys over the last 5 years, each time I had that journey, I said, MJ, you need more digital programs. And both times I sort of ignored it, put it on the back burner. Well, when that pandemic hit, it was like, okay, God was hitting me over the head with a 2x4 for the third time. And I finally sat down, as you said, and I had the focus to create those digital programs. And it also came because one of my clients had said to me, he had to cancel a training. It was a 5-week training. And he says, MJ, I really wish you had some digital programs. And Jim, you probably have heard before, our clients tell us what business we're in.
Yeah, I definitely have heard that before. And the thing with it is, sometimes we don't listen the first time, but obviously, once we have a second or third time, we better listen up.
Definitely. So I had that third knock on the head. And then with this client saying, I wish you had the digital programs, I finally sat down and put that focus into created them. So that focus is key. So that focus, we need that focus to actually see the finish line. And that is what you did with creating the content and with creating your broadcast.
Yes.
So, Jim, what do you think also, when we're thinking about mental drive, what do you think also helped you to create that focus in order to have the mental drive to finish?
Yeah, I think what it was, I have a mission that I need to accomplish when it comes to my professional work, but also personally, I have a mission as well. And so when literally the lockdowns, the shutdowns happen, no travel was going on. Everything was done virtually. And so I had to look at, what are my options? And my options were, we have to look at the Zoom meetings. We have to look at doing the broadcasts. We have to look at creating video content. We have to look at the social media platforms we have to get the message out, not only for my work life, but also for my personal life and the things that I enjoy doing, such as broadcasting with Build Out.
So what I'm hearing is you looked at those, you went to solution rather than problem. So
Correct.
you dug into solution and improvising.
Exactly. I could sit back and say, how am I going to get things done? I can't get on an airplane. I can't drive somewhere. I can't meet with people. What am I going to do? Oh, woe is me. And it was, no, that's not the answer. you have to come up. The human thing is to find a way to overcome.
Yeah.
So the first thing that I was thinking of is because someone reached out to me this past week, and a manager, sales manager, and we're both, we both have been in business development for most of our career. And we hear this often within the sales industry, within that position, is what do you do? It's coming up at the end of the month, the end of the year, and companies are trying to hit goals, and salespeople are trying to hit goals, and departments are trying to hit their goals. So, what is it that some people can hit their goals, some people are motivated, and others are not? What's your take just on the topic of goals to begin with?
Well, a lot of times I think everyone thinks, especially when you're in business development, you're in sales, and even some of the other functions as well in a business, you think, okay, I got to come up with goals. So let me try to make some things up that will make my boss and my company be happy. And I'll make them in such a way that I know that they're easily achievable, but I'll add a little bit of stretch to them. But really what you want to do is you want to make sure you're setting realistic goals. And what I always like to do is find out exactly where does my organization, where do we need to be at revenue wise? And based on that number and based on where the mission or whatever the position that your company wants to be in, you basically back roll everything into goals so that everything kind of works together and it feeds into having a profitable year. Or in some cases, if you have a challenging year, now you have an opportunity to go back and look at results versus goals and figure out what went wrong and what changes need to be made moving forward.
Great point there. And sometimes it's just small little tweaks. What do you think?
Oh, definitely. The nice thing about having goals laid out that are, again, they're smart, they're realistic, time-based, all that, they call them SMART goals,
Right.
is that you will be able to, on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis, on a semi-annually basis, and then at the end of the year, be able to, like I say, kind of benchmark those goals against the results and figure out exactly where some improvement needs to be made. And maybe there's some areas where you blew through your goal, and it could be a situation maybe that you didn't anticipate, you didn't expect. So it can be something that's unexpected. It could be a short-term thing where because of a certain type of economic situation or condition in a market. But also too, you want to make sure that you're looking at the successes and the failures and the shortfalls to be able to come up with a better game plan when it comes to setting more realistic goals.
And sometimes we need that motivation. And if we can't dig down and get the motivation, pull someone else in to work through. Jim, you were talking about your capabilities. Sometimes we need someone else to come in and work with us or to talk to us about, yes, you do have the capabilities. Let's walk through some of your achievements. Let's walk through what you have accomplished so that you can realize you do have it. You have it deep down here. We don't always think about what we've accomplished. So sometimes someone else coming in and working with us or helping us walk through those accomplishments can help us realize we do have it and give us, that little bit of hope, that belief in ourselves.
Yeah, if you're looking at friends or family members or even colleagues that you work with, you want to find someone you trust, but also too, they're very supportive of what you're looking to do. There are times where people will project themselves through you and say, well, you really don't want to do that, or why are you thinking of doing that? And they're not, obviously, that's not going to be a good motivation for you. And I'm not saying you really want to find somebody who's going to be yes, yes, yes to you all the time. You want to have critical feedback, but also too, you want to have positive reinforcement saying you are definitely moving in the right direction. I'm here to help you. I'm going to provide you the guidance that you need. And also too, I'm going to provide you the feedback that you really have to accomplish what you're looking to do. And there are also a lot of professionals too, like MJ, that work with individuals when it comes to reinventing themselves or rebounding, let's say, into something new.
And that is reaching out, Jim. You are so on target there. It's looking at the people in your life. If there's someone who is negative and always going to that negative route, you want to stay away from them when you're looking for help and go to someone who has reinvented themselves or has made a change that's a positive change for themselves. We can tell immediately, and the way that we share something with someone, and if they start, oh, that isn't going to work, or oh, I tried that, that won't work for you, or why do you want to do that? That's someone we need to put aside, limit our time with them, and then look for someone who says, tell me more. How can I help? What can I do to support you? There's a big difference between the two responses. So on target there, Jim, with who we need to reach out to.
And the one thing I would add, MJ, too, what I typically do if I have a naysayer, what I will do is address the naysaying. I wouldn't push them off to the side. What I'm still going to be friends with them. I'm still going to be a colleague with them and everything like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to prove to them that their conception or their thoughts or their beliefs are incorrect. So I will prove them by doing it. In fact, I use that as a motivation for me to accomplish what I'm looking to do.
And
so
it's a great motivator.
And don't let them be a roadblock. Let them be something to help springboard you into what you're looking to do. Use it positively, even though it's negative enforcement or a negative impactor. Turn it into a positive. Don't push them away. Find a way to continue to engage with them, but prove them wrong. And that way you won't lose a friend or a colleague. And you also show them that, listen, maybe I'm not 100% correct on what I thought, and help them have a learning moment.
Question: what percentage of new products are successful? If you flip that around, we're basically asking what percentage of new products fail? And our survey showed that half of our respondents said they fail almost 60% of the time. I know there's a Harvard study that,
wow,
depending on the industry, they fail at 70, 80% of the time. So it's a huge problem.
Wow, those numbers are staggering. So then that also goes back to, because of the way the training, and I'm just going to add a little piece there about the training. Recently, prior to, it was right before COVID hit, I was working with a manufacturer and 6 of their top directors. And at the end of the training, I always asked, what is one takeaway, or what is one thing you had liked about this training? And there was one gentleman who everyone called wicked smart. He was in their research development department. And his comment to me was, I liked that this wasn't prepackaged. You didn't stand up there and read a book. You knew what you were talking about. We did activities, we did exercises, and I throw a little bit of candy too when they answer.
Right, right, sure, good.
Adding some fun in there. But that goes back to what you originally said, because I've been in one of those rooms where you are stuck from 8 o'clock in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You get 2 10-minute breaks, morning and afternoon, and then you get lunch. But that is it. You have that workbook and it is nonstop. Jim, you probably have been involved in those trainings.
Yeah, more so in the past than in the present.
Yes.
And in the past, it was, you'd go in, it would be kind of dull. It would be a grind. And the thing is, if you're out there, you're supposed to be selling value. It's tough to walk out of there with a feeling of, wow, this is a great value. I can't wait to go out there and start talking to my clients and customers about this new product or service. So if it really kind of gets launched that way with the sales team, it's going to be a tough slug out there.
Exactly. We've had products that should have been viable canceled because the training went bad. And Jim, to your point, if the training was done right, MJ, interactive, exercises, throwing out candy, keep it fun and engaging. For salespeople, the product or service has a much better chance of being successful initially. And it's a shame that all this time, research, money, investment went into developing a product that due to the poor training was just canceled when it actually could have been successful.
I came across a statistic and it said 70% of employees would feel better about themselves if their boss was grateful.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many statistics, so many numbers, because when I talk to potential clients about gratitude and stuff, they start thinking off that this is going to be something fluffy, it's going to be something soft, and there is nothing soft about it. When you look at companies who have engaged employees are 100%, 120% more profitable. They have 5 times fewer safety accidents. The people are more engaged. And when you have engaged employees, they are taking better care of your customers. So now you have a better customer experience. So it all goes around. We can put the numbers to it. And when you look at this age that we're in right now, in this great resignation, where the numbers are saying that 87% of employees are open to opportunities, doesn't it make sense that we have more of a focus now on catching our employees in the act of doing things well, of acknowledging them with more than just the paycheck they get every Friday or every couple weeks, but letting them know that they are valued and that they are contributing to a mission that's even bigger than they are.
Working with, they believe family comes first. They're not putting their employees in the position where they have to choose. I think that's a better way of putting it. They have to choose family or the company.
That is smart.
They're trying to mesh it so that they're happy at home and they are putting their family as a priority instead of making the company a priority.
Good point.
Encouraging staff to, like, if you have set work hours, encouraging them to honor that. Don't go home and be sending more emails and doing work for 3 hours from home. Like, that's your private time. Don't reward the employee who always goes above and beyond and works 24/7, because that sends a message that you really sort of like that. You want everyone to do that.
Right.
Be aware of how you treat all the employees, like the one who is always the squeaky wheel, who's always complaining about something and has projects pulled from them to ease their load. That's sending a message, and that's not equitable among all the other employees. Things like, it's sort of common sense, some of it, but it becomes a pattern and a habit at that workplace, and somebody no longer sees it happening. Sometimes having an outside set of eyes come in, whether it's coaching to support the staff, or whether it's somebody kind of doing 360 evaluations, or just a facilitator coming in and saying, are you aware this is like what it appears that your common go-to is for this, and there are other ways.
Now, another way that you can support, in addition to purchasing, whether it's a gift, a service, or a gift certificate, is when you are in a brick and mortar place of business, pull out your cell phone and check in on social, check into their location, take a selfie of yourself inside their store to help generate business for them.
And also, too, you could write reviews and also promote. If they have a certain promotion coming out on Facebook, forward it out to your network or friends and share that with them. In most cases, a local business will ship anywhere.
Yes.
So why not support them and think of some of the local businesses that you really like and support and get them out there, give them a little bit of more national or maybe in some cases international promotions.